there are certain things that I have wanted to hop on a video and speak to and share for years. For literally a decade, I have been considering certain things and aware of certain things. Obviously, over the years, I've been made more aware of other things and learned more about myself along the way and unraveled what some of these things that I've been aware of might mean and where they might have come from, and kind of even idea or ways that to work on those things and deal with them. But I have wanted to be more just vulnerable and open and share about more about me. Why do I even want to do that, really? Like, what is it? Is that validation seeking? I gather so much energy and awareness and learning and teaching from people that share their stories. I've always felt called to sharing more of my story. I'll get in front of this camera either when I'm like pushed to the end and feeling like I'm in tears. I have so many videos of me just trying to get words out, but I'm just sobbing, or the things that do come out are just, it's just not the time to be sharing, I don't think. I always want to pop on here and say something that might mean something when I'm feeling better, or when there's not some milestone, but usually it's when there's a milestone or somebody's birthday, either mine or Mike's, where I want to just share that I have so much gratitude and appreciation for all the people in my life, and that I'm still living in what feels like a shell of my own existence. I feel like I'm actually living out my potential in such a like contracted and not honest and real way, and it fucks with me a lot of the time. And I'm coming up on 30 tomorrow, and it's bringing up a whole bunch. It's a milestone birthday. It's also just like, it's not just one more year. It's a milestone, and it's also just such a small speck in this existent reality. And I'm feeling like I am at a place where I do want to make real change. And we've done a lot over the years, but I've been struggling. I struggle to express myself. I struggle to actually just even feel true to myself or honest with myself, because there's so many areas where I'm playing small. There's so many things that happen day to day and day over day where I am not speaking my truth. I'm not saying the thing. I am choosing to play smaller than I would like to. I'm choosing to make the safe choice that my brain has done many times before. Our brains are not designed for us to take risks. They're not designed for us to go for the thing. Our hearts and our bodies and our souls want to, but our brains are trying to create predictable situations for us. They're trying to create predictable outcomes. So often we make these choices that are not necessarily aligned with what we would like to choose and what we would like to step into, but they are often the choices that have kept us safe up to this point. Whether or not they've kept us happy or fulfilled or alive and like feeling alive and with vitality coursing through us, that's not what our minds are working towards. Our minds are trying to keep us alive and safe, and that survival idea. So there's so often when I just don't say the thing and don't move boldly in the direction of my dreams and my desires, because I talk myself into just keeping it to myself, or putting it away, putting it on the back burner. And it honestly, like, it's been hurting me for a long time. And now I'm coming up on 30, and I just want to do things different. I've been thinking about this for the last little while. Like, all I want for my birthday is for us to hide a little less. And it's just such a reoccurring theme in my life right now that I can't expect anybody to do anything or treat me any way or treat themselves any way that I'm not like willing or able to embody myself and lead from that place. If I'm in this role of business ownership now, and I have staff, and I have a management team that works underneath me, that I have so much work that we all need to do together and do on ourselves and our own abilities in the roles that we're in. And I see things being played out from the management level to our staff that just make me cringe, and I want to see these different actions being taken, but time and time again, I have it just thrown back in my face by my own awareness that I am playing these things out with them as well. I am not speaking, I'm not having the hard conversations when they need to be had. I'm holding these things, I'm holding things in and not letting them know transparently what is going on and what I am seeing that I would like to see done differently. I'm not in that seat of leadership in the way that I need to be. And like, I can't expect them to act any way that I'm not willing to lead them through. And so here we are, just like a decade of me trying to just open my throat chakra, whatever you might feel about chakras and energy centers and those things. If that is complete, just like utter woo-woo, ridiculous talk to you, whatever. But our bodies are made up of all of this shit that's keeping us alive, keeping us moving, functioning in this incredible way without any of our doing. And there's points of energy storage and places where energy moves through, and you know it because there's your throat. You can feel it when there's something that you want to say but you won't say it. You can feel it in your throat, in this center here that comes up. You can feel when there's something in your heart that some bleeding love for some person, or some just like painful contraction because your heart something is not being expressed, and there's this pain there, or this like yearning for a love that you're not expressing, or there's that feeling in your gut, that knowing that there's something that you need to do, some action that you need to take, something. And there's there's real negative effects that come from that not being expressed. There's real ways that these things get stuck and hardened in these different places. Our bodies are so ridiculously intelligent, and they have so much more memory stored than our minds can cognitively think about. And all of the experiences that we've had from literally conception to our current selves are stored somewhere. Positive, negative, or neutral, all of it is somewhere in you. Unless you have taken specific and very intentional, an intentional look at this stuff and worked on it and moved the energy and done the body work and gotten into these places where that energy was allowed to soften and then move out of you. There's a really good chance that we're all we all have so much stuff just hardened into us. It's like stomach ulcers or really fucked up digestive issues. It's largely because of how many times we have kept that tight. We have contracted when we've wanted to say something. Some part of our truth was squashed by someone else, or we've decided that it wasn't safe enough to express that thing, or because of a set of societal ideas, there's these parts of us that we don't talk about that cause us real pain in our hearts or our stomachs or our throats. So I know all of these things. I'm aware of all of this to a point that I can feel it in different areas of my body. I recognize my work for me as I'm 30 years in tomorrow into this life, into this experience. And as much as there are perceptions, I get crippled at the idea of how much is being perceived about me or my life that is just not true, or that is a misrepresentation of how it actually feels, which is work for me, because it's honestly none of my business what other people think of me, as it is it's none of my business to think about, to project on other people on what they might be thinking, or what their lives might look like or feel like or whatever. But there's just, along with the world that we live in, the society, the social media society, that there's this highlight reel demonstration of what people's lives look like, when so often that really is just a highlight reel, and it looks good from the outside. Oh, you went here, you did that, oh, that's cool, you're doing this, you've taken on that now, that's amazing. And that can create such a deep level of disconnection, where it's this supposed to be social media is this connection tool, but the way that we are using it is it creates such a disconnect. Because I know for myself, it can crush me on a given day. If I run into somebody on the street and they're so proud and excited and stoked about the things that we're doing with Marcella, and just the stuff that this business that we're willing to take on, and just how the moves that we've made and the things that people have seen, which are great, and they're just one part of the story, and the other parts sometimes feel fucking crippling. The parts that you don't see are the attempts at operating a business that we knew nothing about, learning all of this, a whole couple of different industries, grocery, cafe, restaurant service, basically all of like these things that we have this such a strong entrepreneurial belief in ourselves and what we're able to, like, what we feel capable of doing. So whether or not we have that, like, there's such an element of we're faking it till we make it, but we're trying. We want to see these things done. We don't want to see we didn't want to see Marcella disappear. So that's literally why we're doing this. And we've had some good success, and also we're still fucking struggling a lot. And there's so many pieces that are really hard, and we're also doing it as a partnership, as a couple of people who have been navigating a relationship for almost a decade, who have had issues, we have for years, so many times, been on just like barely made it out the door. Barely fucking made it. Have fought all morning, or just been cycling through this painful energy because we both are so digging into these things that make us, that have made us this way. It's not any way. We've just been navigating a lot, as everyone is. We all are now. Everyone is fighting a battle we know nothing about. And so there's days when we'll have barely made it out of the house together, or have just barely made it anywhere with even remotely a smile on our face. And oftentimes the smiles are fake. And we have been just in it and struggling, and we'll go somewhere and just get told over and over and over again that we're just doing so great, and it's so great what you're up to, and you guys are amazing, and you're just such a power couple, and blah blah blah, and all of this stuff that is such a blessing to hear and to have reflected to us, and also feels completely void of truth some days. It hurts to hear these positive things when it feels so hard and disconnected a lot of the time. This is not supposed to be I'm not looking for pity. I'm not looking for anything other than just like a bit of freedom. I've gone back and forth for years of wanting so badly to just be able to speak out on social media and talk more freely, because I have gathered and gained so much from hearing other people do just that. And then there's a cycle in my brain that's just this, well, who would want to hear this anyways, and what story do I have, and all of these stories of how can I talk about what's hard for me when I sit in a ridiculous seat of privilege. Literally, just to be born in Canada is a wild privilege, not to mention the the Kootenays, and to a family that parents who love me and would do fucking anything for me, anything in their power, and they have done over and over again. They bailed me out of situation after situation and just tried to do what they can to support me, and they've done a damn good job. I am so grateful for everything. And also, there's so much that's been so hard. I have so many people, many of you, whether it's through the market now, or just growing up with me, or knowing me and my family, like, I have such cool parents. So cool. I hear all the time people talk about either shit talk. Oh, you're Chris Quinnell's daughter. I see whatever from such a joking, like a lighthearted place, because they've bantered with my dad and they've shit talked with him, and they've worked with him and they've seen his work ethic and they've seen it. He's so great, and I'm so grateful. He is the reason I have the belief in myself that I do, and this entrepreneurial spirit. Like, it's Dad and it's Grandpa, and while they are beautiful representations of doing better every generation, both of them. And we're all just trying to do that. We're trying to take what we learned from our parents and do a bit, like, do better. My mom, she's amazing. You guys, she's so funny. I have so much good to say about her, and I love her so much, and she's been one of my best friends my whole life. I grew up, we were very tight-knit, very close. And I also learned from my mom how to fucking hate myself. She told me growing up all the time, how beautiful I was and how I could do anything, and how she told me I should believe in myself. She told me that I should just know that I just have the world at my fingertips, and I can do anything I set my mind to, and I'm beautiful just the way I am, and I don't need any augmentation or different anything. She assured me of it with her words forever, to this day, still, always. And also, still, to this day, always, she has demonstrated to me how I should judge myself by way of how she judges herself, and how terribly she picks herself apart, and how she is in constant comparison and constant picking and prodding and poking at herself, thinking and wishing and feeling like she should be some different way. She is for my whole life, and to this day, and to working with her day to day now. So we brought her on to work with us at Morchella, and it's been an amazing journey. And also, I am up face to face with it every day. She's so judgmental of herself. She's in this constant constriction because of the way that the world has treated her, and the way that she learned it from her mother and all the women in her life and our lives. I've only seen, until I took the step back, moved away, and started to listen to and absorb information and energy from different women, the only thing I was raised to believe was that highly embodied feminine women were dangerous and stupid and catty and self-centered, and that they shouldn't be trusted, and that the only way to exist was to small yourself down, live up to a certain norm, a certain standard, fold to the masculine, while also resenting the masculine. Just constrict your actual feelings, hide, put your dreams aside, maybe get to them later on when your husband has died or something, and judge each other. Judge and talk about and nitpick and focus on all of the minor things that you think are wrong because There are all of these ways you feel like the world is nitpicking you and judging you, because it is, and you're perpetuating that. That is the feminine that I knew, and that is not the feminine that I desire to embody or to bring to share with my future generations. It shreds me and my heart apart to look at family members that I love dearly, and also I don't know if I have the capacity to actually help them, and it's not really my responsibility to do so. I spent many years before my grandpa actually died, and it was very surprising. I thought I would have him around for a long, long time. I for sure thought that he would be there for my wedding day and hold my grandbabies, or my babies, his great grandbabies. I never thought he was going to be the first to go, even though he was so fucking unhealthy. I knew he was unhealthy. I knew that the way that he was existing was killing himself. It was killing him slowly. I knew that his choices in the way that he ate and the way that he handled his emotions and his addiction cycles and the way that he coped and used food and spending and booze. I knew that because fuck, I just have seen these patterns playing out for a long time, and I've recognized them, and then I lost it, and it killed me. And I'm gonna do the same. I'm actively doing the same thing with other family members that I love so much. But I'm so scared to have to speak the truth, to have to be the one to say that we've got to get our shit together, and not the wounded masculine get your shit together and keep it together and don't show your emotions and don't let anybody see you cry and don't talk about sex, money, religion, finances, whatever with anybody. That's not the way. Us having to repress our sexual desires, our desire for abundance, our desire for passion and freedom and just joyous living is what's causing so much of this pain and so much of this hurt and these ailments and this fucking obesity and this just armoring. I want to do better. And I feel like I've been trying to get the nerve to say so much of this to people that I love for so long now. I can go back in time and go through my Google Drive and find the different times that I've got the nerve to say the words. I've never got the nerve to post them. There is a YouTube video out there somewhere for when I had fun of the the only time I have actually put anything out, self-expression publicly, was when I was going to go on a week trip with a guy I fell in love with, which is another just area of my life that's been so restricted. It's been so there, but so restricted as well. And that's not doing any of us a favor. Any favors. Because there is so much that's left undone in my life. There's so much that I am leaving on the table and have been leaving on the table. There's so much I've started that I haven't finished because of fear of this part. The openness, the putting myself really out there just to be heard and to be seen, because for so long it was just drilled into me in so many ways through very creative non-intentional even ways, that's just been passed down generation to generation to just keep small, keep quiet, just don't go there with, you can share this with us, but don't share it with the rest, don't share it with this person or that person, because it'll be too much for them to handle, or blah 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 blah. But there are people out there that don't hear from me, because if I go any further into our relationship, I have, like, the whole thing has to come unraveled. It has to show itself. I have to show myself, show my face. I haven't seen my grandmother in such a long time, and she lives so close by, and she tries to see me all the time. She comes into Marcella all the time to try to sit with me, try to see me. And the way that, like, she lost her husband, and for so long I thought that would be good for her. Part of me thought that losing him at some point would have her find some peace, because there were parts of him that were very overpowering and overcompensating, but he was the best. He was her homie. He was her best friend. And there's so much of me that was never able to face that with her. And now she's just had injuries and grief, and is she's doing so much to try to make herself better, but she's just getting seemingly more and more unhealthy. And I'm watching her slip away, and keeping myself at a distance, because I'm too scared to say that I see you. And I do it too. And I have so many identified ways that I numb myself, and in addictions that I have to keep my honest self at bay. I've used food. I've had a problem with food for my whole life, probably. I've seen it. My whole family does. They don't see it. There's different sides of the spectrum, whether they emotionally eat too much, or don't, or restrict themselves. And I've done both. I do both. I've had substance abuse problems with marijuana since 13, when I realized I could get away from some of the overthinking in my brain, and some of the pain in my heart from being disconnected from my power and my pleasure and my femininity and my truth. There's all these ways we're disconnected from our own vitality and our real shit, our highest selves. The version of us that are just not afraid of anything, or not that they're not afraid of anything, they're not afraid to be themselves because they know that the fear that they feel is just miscalculated judgment. And they do it anyway, and they exist fully, and they speak their mind and their hearts, and they're honest, and they're forgiving and empathetic because they know that they've been all of those ways, and they've done there's so many different stages of my life that people have seen or seen bits of. Like, I have had such a hard time not thinking about those things, like wanting to speak out, wanting to just even be my fullest expression of owning this business and doing everything that's in my mind and in my heart to make it a success. But so much of that comes with my own remembering of all the ways that I've been, all the different people that I've been, all the like different areas of my life that people have seen, and then so to given them the opportunity to judge me. Like, what have you seen me do? Who have you seen me be? What energy have you seen from me? And how does that make you feel about the person that you think I am? Again, none of this is really my business or my problem, but it is if I haven't cleared the air, at least with myself, or forgiven myself for these things, or made it aware that I even am aware of these things, made it known that I am aware of the ways that I could be perceived, the different times in my life where like I just think it kind of gives me shivers, like it kind of makes me shudder, and it also kind of makes me laugh sometimes. It depends on when I see people walk into Marcella or know that I own this place and can think in their minds like, isn't that the same chick that we saw scream to the whole bar downtown at Shotty, like screamed to all of Shotguns her address and say everyone was invited to her place after, and then to show up at her place and have no or even to just show up at this place that was obviously a party house, to walk in not knowing who owned it and find this random chick in the bathtub in a bubble bath with 4 of her best dude friends having the time of her life. Having that, I'm sure, create all of these ideas that I was just sleeping with everybody and having all these wicked orgies with all of these different dudes in my bathtub when we were just all fucked up and fucking damn it, my English often makes things sound worse as well, but we were just fucked up and having a bubble bath and having night-long conversations about the way the world worked and everything. Those were, it's like, have you seen me like so wasted I couldn't even see? Have you been in a long conversation with me about how I was going to change the world? Have you seen me driving a short bus with a whole crew of special needs individuals who I was like, where in my life have you seen me, and what does that make you feel? And honestly, I need to forgive myself for the ways I've judged myself. That is that's really the only thing that matters. And in doing that, I'm sure I will clear the energy that I think that other people have towards me. I just want to feel the freedom to be able to just be me. And that is where the horrible grief and guilt can come out, because when I realize these things and I get to this place, like, I am literally what is holding me back from expressing myself. It isn't my government or my husband or my abusive parents or my any of the other brutal, real, true hardship ways of that people aren't allowed to express themselves, or the things that people are up against in order to express themselves. I just have to get over myself and let myself move on and move forward. There's just so much that I've left open-ended, and maybe that's part of my grand plan or grand awakening, is to just tie up all of the loose ends and revisit all of the areas that I have injected my energy and then pulled back and ran away, or the love. Like, there's a human out there that I haven't talked to in damn near months, haven't seen in like a couple of years. And he's one of the loves of my life. And meeting him was I was turned inside out and upside down. And it caused me to treat Mike really terribly, because it was finally this beacon of light and understanding that there were areas that I had been neglecting myself and in our relationship, and in ways that I didn't want to be treated, and in ways that I did want to be treated that never came to light before. And then meeting him made me just in a whirlwind see so much more. And then thinking that I was going to leave Mike for him, and all that came with that, and then realizing that that would be just running away, and the easy way to do things, because there is a timeline, there is a reality where I can express that too. It's okay. That's a huge part of what I think we're here to do too, is to work through the mess of this and then show that there is a framework to love more than one person. It's just a matter of respect and real work together, and it's possible. But I've just been so afraid to actually lean into it, because it was so powerful and it was so strong. But I don't feel like I have the luxury not to anymore, and that is beautiful and exciting and also terrifying. But if I have learned anything in the previous decades, it's that the choices that I have been making, while I have learned a ton, have not got me the desired result, which is the feeling that I believe that I can access, which is the joy, which is freedom of expression. And so this next era, this next decade, this next year, this next day, this next afternoon, my work is to make different choices, not hide, and to show up for me. These 3 decades have been all about, they've been about a lot of things, but there's a lot of it that has been me trying to fit everywhere else, to mesh in, to fix the energy, to not make too many waves, or just like not rock the boat. It's been to learn and assess and unravel things. It's given me a real understanding of trauma and the roots of some of my trauma and the differences between different types of trauma, and the huge importance that it is to look at those things and find the roots, and also not obsess over those things too much, and to just get back in the body and move the body, move the energy, move it through. So I've been fighting and struggling for so long to just keep it all together and keep it all in, and that is not what I intend to bring into my 30s. I intend to move more. I intend to create more space. I intend to do the hard inner work and the necessary inner work in order to not pass on judgment and self-depreciation and self-neglect and contraction and holding onto whomever comes next. And hope that in doing that and in living that maybe I will have an effect up the generational line as well for those who are left. However, not holding to the fact that is my responsibility. My responsibility is me. And that's been a 30-year journey to get to. So here I am, fucking almost an hour into sitting in the car outside the house, headed to the gym, actually. Speaking some of my truth, moving some of this energy, opening my throat chakra, allowing for the energy to move through my voice. I intend to heal my voice. I intend to heal the distrust I have in my own body for my will and my courage to use my voice. I have trust issues with myself, which makes me an untrustworthy person. So, in order to heal the fact that I don't always show up as someone who should be trusted or deserves to be trusted, because I have done untrustworthy things. It's attached to the root that I don't trust myself. I don't trust myself to do, or I haven't trusted myself to do what I needed to do when I needed to do it. And so 30 is for me. 30s are for me for my cultivation of the leadership that I wish to share and what I intend to pass down. And it's for the creation of space in my own self to serve the higher power that I know I am here to manifest and move through and move with. It's about reclaiming my faith and what that means to me, because as a small child I had a given understanding of what God was or what religion was, and I pushed it out a lot from a very young age. When my granddad died at 5, I remember thinking that why God would kill I was mad at God. I remember going out to my mom's garden and being out there just thinking I was so mad with God because he killed my granddad. And for so long, I had this idea that it was just this dude and so much more than that. It's just... Anyway, it's about reclaiming my faith in the way, and my connection to God in the way I understand it, the way I understand him. It's about fitness and family and faith. I am at a point still with my physical body or whatever, where I am not necessarily happy day to day with my shape, with the way that I fit my clothes. And I've recommitted myself again this last week to movement, to yoga, to weight lifting, to moving my body, to running. I love running. I feel so good when I run. And I often don't, because I don't feel the benefit, because I'm never consistent enough, because I was trained to believe that I didn't need to do anything for myself. I should just have it. Which isn't true. And I deserve the work that it will take for me to show up as vibrantly as I desire. And so when I look at myself in the mirror and I see that I'm still, after a week of being back at the gym and going to yoga and moving and focusing on hydration, because dehydration is another one of my addiction cycles. It's a self-sabotage that I hook on a lot. After 1 week, I noticed myself yesterday feeling discouraged that I'm just at this place. I'm a few months away from the summertime again, as I have been several years in a row, coming up to March, April, feeling like I'm not going to be as confident in the summer as I would like to be because of where I'm at physically. And I just caught myself thinking that yesterday. I caught myself thinking that I'm still not there. And I realized that if I let myself make the same decision, which is what for so long has just been, I'm probably... Anyway, it's inconsistency. Inconsistency has been my go-to. And because I realized if I am at this place now, and there's, say, 3 months until, like, bikini season, which is just a whole nother, like aesthetic concern, whatever, but it is more about just how I feel and the work I get to put into my vessel, which I hope to have for a really long time in a healthy way. So when I look at myself after a week of moving and just still feel discouraged, I caught myself thinking that and remembered that if I make different choices, and different choices is go to yoga yesterday when I didn't feel like it because I wasn't feeling very good about myself, and usually I want to go to yoga, but I've committed to going to yoga a certain amount of times a week now. And so when I caught myself not wanting to go to yoga, I realized that the different choice for me was to go. And it was great. And then an hour and a bit ago, I was sitting thinking about talking or making a video. And I was just stuck in this self-judgmental loop cycle that I have gotten into many times in front of the camera before. And I realized that the different choice would be to stop that in its tracks and just go to the gym. So I left where I was parked and came home, got my stuff, have the gym strip, I can't see it on there, gym bag. I'm headed there. And now I found the inspiration. And now I have spoken a while, and I feel like it was for good, and I'm gonna go to the gym. And I realize that if I keep doing those things, keep making different decisions in the moment, in all of these moments, I can slow down and catch myself in a negative thought loop. I will be in a different place than I am now, and than I maybe ever have been, than I have ever been, if I am consistent for these next 3 months and start off my year strong, and start off this decade consistent. I need to not give up. I need to keep going. I get to do these things. And I would love to share a bit more about it and just share my successes and my struggles and invite anybody to share or come along. I'm partway through 2 different facilitator programs that I have pretty much dropped off the face of the earth of, and I intend to find an aligned way to step back onto both of those paths, can reconnect with both of the intensely beautiful, incredible individuals that are that have facilitated this. I intend to reconnect with all the individuals that are out there who haven't heard from me, who I've dropped off the face of the earth. Especially some of those ones that have impacted me so deeply. Anyway, all in all, I am feeling incredibly grateful and proud of where I am and proud of where I'm going. And I look forward to the opportunity to make the different choice. Be different. Be different. Choose differently. Be different. Make different decisions. Because the avoidant and the scarcity mindseted, fearful person that I have, or fearful person that I've been because of those fearful choices that I've made, has not gotten me to the place that I want to, and I'm still struggling with some of the same issues. So, here's to 30. Here's to doing things differently. Here's to healing me and opening my communication center. Here we go.